Seriously, I can't even make up the wild stories, revelations, powerful healing moments that occurred when I was in Tulum. I'm sharing a lot of the behind the scenes inside my Project Me Posse business coaching membership, but something that happened to me that it would be a crime for me to not share this wisdom with you is, number one, I put myself in a position around people, around facilitators that felt safe, that I could lean in, I could surrender, I could trust, my nervous system could relax. And therefore, all of these subconscious wounds, emotions, things that needed to be healed, toxic energy that I've taken on from people, places, and things were allowed to surface because I felt supported and I felt I was in a place where I could handle it. And so much of us spend so much time distracting ourselves, pushing this back down, avoiding this stuff, distracting ourselves from these uncomfortable things and feelings. And that only keeps us stuck. In fact, it makes us more sick. And what came up where there were two people where I still had these strong, unhealthy attachment cords still tied to them that I did not realize I had. And thank God it came up because I was able to release those two people, those two cords. And maybe there's more cords that will surface that need to be cut with them. But wow, really taking that grip, that attachment to people, it could be a circumstance, it could be a situation, but when we cut that, when we release that, we free up so much space within our bodies, within ourselves creatively, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And this is what allows more abundance to come in, more freedom to come in. And I feel so light. So please put yourself in a situation, whether it's one-on-one, working with someone you feel safe with. Maybe that's me, maybe that's a therapist, or in a group environment where you trust the facilitator to collectively curate that group for your highest level, most supportive and nurturing experience, which is exactly how I put together my brand new 4-month mastermind plus program plus live experience, the Abundance League. This is where you are going to be able to take your current business and scale it as high as you want to go, the multiple high 6 and 7 figures. So how I've configured this, and we've been working on this behind the scenes for months now, is you get one session per month that is focused on business strategy, how to build simple funnels, not these complex things. I've pared it all down and got rid of all the noise that if you simply follow this, there's no way you're not going to scale your business. It would literally be impossible. And then the second session that we have in the semi-private group coaching each month is focused on abundance, is focused on identifying these deeply rooted money blocks and resisting them and then releasing them and how we work through this stuff. There's so much more. All the details are on the information and application page. You can swipe up. It's right in the show notes, or go to projectmewithtiffany.com/Abundance League. This is starting mid to late June. And the live experience is in September, and you'll see in there exactly what we're doing, how this is designed. It's a maximum of 20 people. Right now, we are doing a pre-launch sale where I'm giving this to you for $3,000 off if I feel that you are a good fit for this. And I've also added payment plans as well. This is a no-brainer. If you are not where you want to be, or you feel you're trading so much time for your money, or you're working and working and working and you're not seeing results and you don't know what's going on, or you're overwhelmed with getting so much information and you need to execute and you need to implement, this is here for you, and you can't have any more excuses. But if you want 2023 to be the year you did it, your most profitable year yet, then you've got to take some serious boss moves, and this is the move for you. So go to the page, check it out, and I look forward to having you in there. If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multimillionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash making advice. Now let's get to it. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between. Now let's talk about my favorite attachment style today, disorganized attachment. And I say it's my favorite with a little bit of sarcasm because this is my attachment style that I'm working through. And truly, I'll probably be working through this the rest of my life because these attachment styles of ours are very rooted because they come from our childhood. So let me get into this. And remember, this is a 4-part series. So you can go listen to the other 2 parts before this, which are anxious and avoidant attachment style. And then what's dropping on Wednesday is secure attachment. And it's very important for you to hear the secure attachment episode to know what we are working towards, what we are striving to get to. So a disorganized attachment style is one of the main 4 attachment styles that people can develop based on your early interactions with caregivers, all right? And it's coming from the famous attachment theory. So it's considered an atypical or insecure attachment style. A disorganized attachment style typically arises when a child experiences both a desire for closeness and a fear of their caregiver, leading to conflicting emotions and behaviors. So this style often stems from a traumatic or abusive experiences in early years of life where the caregiver's behavior is erratic, frightening, or abusive. And these experiences can disrupt the child's ability to form a consistent and coherent strategy for seeking comfort and safety from their caregiver. So a hallmark characteristic of a disorganized attachment style is the child's inconsistent and often contradictory behaviors when confronted with the caregiver. So they may exhibit unusual and unpredictable responses, such as freezing, rocking, or displaying a disoriented or dazed appearance. They might do things like I did, where chewing the inside of my cheek, biting nails, twisting hair until they're in knots. I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but is like trechophilia. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. It's where like you pull out like eyebrow hairs, nose hairs, hairs from your head on repeat, cutting behaviors. So these behaviors reflect the child's struggle to reconcile the caregiver as both a source of comfort and fear simultaneously. Bottom line, it's mindfuckery. The very person you seek nurturing love and comfort from is the same exact person you fear, and it's inconsistent. So if you grew up with a narcissistic parent, someone who maybe they're bipolar, it could have even been a parent who had they had severe PMS, like PMDD. They had a medical condition where we're not like literally sitting here blaming the parent in some circumstances, yes. But like some of these are medical conditions and mental illnesses that the parent or caregiver had that creates this response. Even a really like moody parent, it could be a parent that is an alcoholic or an addict of some kind. And when they drank, maybe they were loving and nurturing and fun and nice. And when they were sober, they were mean, or vice versa. And there's just not this consistency. So in my case, when I got nurturing and love, it was, you never knew when you were going to get it. One sure way I got it, though, was when I was sick. So I definitely got it from my mom when I was sick. Therefore, I was sick all the time. And other ways I could get it, I would have to be like really upset about something, but it couldn't be upset with her. So it was like very specific, tricky things that might work, but it didn't always work. But I still, of course, wanted it from her. Who wouldn't want it from their mother? But I also was terrified of her, and I never knew if I was going to get it or if it was going to set her off or what the cost was going to be for getting it. Because often in my case and many cases of people who come from dysfunctional and abusive childhoods, there was a price to pay. You would get the love and nurturing maybe, but at a cost, or you had to earn it. And then that bar kept always getting moved. So then it becomes confusing and then you don't trust it, but you want the nurturing and you want the love, but you also don't want to have to go through all the hoops in order to get it because that's exhausting and that's not sustainable and you're tired and it sucks and then you become resentful of it. But then the only way to get it is to go through the hoops, and you can see how that can create pure freaking insanity in your adult life, teenage life, all the lives in between. So as individuals with a disorganized attachment style grow into adulthood, you may continue to experience challenges in forming and maintaining relationships. So you may exhibit difficulties regulating emotions, have a heightened fear of abandonment, struggle with trust issues, encounter challenges in establishing like a coherent sense of self, meaning like trusting yourself, trusting your judgment, your discernment. You can be in a lot of state of confusion. A lot of my disorganized attachment people that come to me are constantly in a state of confusion, second guessing themselves, not sure what to do, and then they end up feeling stuck. And it's important to note that these attachment styles are not fixed, meaning they're not locked in. You can develop a more secure attachment pattern through self-awareness, through therapy, through healthy relationships experiences. Understanding your attachment style as it relates, of course, personally, but in this case, I'm focusing on money, will absolutely change the amount of money that you call into your life. And it will change your overall self-worth, which directly impacts your net worth. So I'm going to go over some signs, specifically 6 signs that indicate that you have a disorganized attachment style when it comes to money. And I'm going to infuse some examples from myself and clients that I've worked with. So you've heard this in the other 2 episodes if you listened in the series, but this is something that I learned from one of my clients who is a well-known psychologist in this area as it relates to relationships. And I was like, I had this epiphany where I was like, you know what? How we do one thing is how we do most things in life. I wonder how this applies to money. And I started with really looking at myself and how that applies to money. And then I started practicing this and implementing this and coaching my clients in my various programs, in my private coaching. And the results were remarkable. Because you don't have to all of a sudden go from anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, disorganized to fully secure. And if you're not fully secure, it's not going to happen for you. No, even moving the needle 5%, even moving towards secure attachment by 10% is going to get you a magnitude of abundance on the other side. It's truly remarkable when you combine that with my proven profitable business strategies. You cannot go wrong. And I think this is a good time, before I get into these 6 things, to share my jingle for my brand new Abundance League Mastermind program, which right now we are in a pre-launch sale. This will never be this low again. Like, most of you guys are like nervous to apply to work with me privately, or nervous to go into my programs because you're assuming, because of my experience, because of my receipts, because I'm well known, that it's going to cost you like $50,000. This is under $10,000. This is crazy. To work with me and my Project Me Dream Team for 4 months, where everything is designed, around having you scale your business to the high 6 and 7 figures. So you're going to know exactly what to concentrate on, what to focus on. And we do implementation. You do not need more information, people. Information is nice. But if you don't execute on that information, you are not going to see the changes within your mindset, within your bank account, within your business. And I have designed this to make sure that all of those things happen as long as you show up and you're willing and you're excited and you put skin in the game. So here it goes. Join the Abundance League, a mastermind so grand. Surround yourself with winners, the best in the land. And for a limited time, here's a deal so sweet. A pre-launch sale, $3,000 off. It's time to meet. Expert guidance and support, a tribe that'll lift you so high. In the Abundance League, success is no longer pie in the sky. Together we'll strategize, dreams turning into gold. With each step forward, watch your new money story unfold. This may or may not have been created while I was on mushrooms in Tulum. Thank you so much. But you can swipe up for the link. Don't wait on it because you will not be able to get that pricing. And we're only taking a max of 20 people because one of the things you get that by itself is valued at $10,000 alone is you get 2 days with me and my Project Me Dream Team right here in my brand new baller beach house in Los Angeles. Yes, this includes a live event. So this is insanity. And listen, if you're not at a point where you're like tired of yourself and you're really wanting to get serious about taking your business to the next level and cut out all the noise, and if you're not interested in having 2023 be your most profitable year yet, we have 6 months left. We can do this. Or you can continue fucking around. It's really up to you. But if you want what you say you want, then your actions have to match that. If they don't, you're going to continue to rebel and repel abundance. And my question to you would be this. What will it feel like if now we're in 2024, we're about to cross over into 2024 at the end of the year, and you're still exactly where you're at right now in your business, in your life, in your bank account? If you're like, oh, hell no, that's not an option, then you need to apply to the mastermind. If you're like, oh no, that's okay. Like I'm chilling, that's fine. Then this is not for you. And that's also okay. All right, let's get into these 6 things. I highly doubt you want me to sing more, but let me just tell you, there may or may not be more songs coming. And if you haven't realized this by now, if you're new to me, yes, I'm nuts. And we get to have a wild amount of fun and be ourselves, the crazy and all, the hot mess at all, the shit show and all. We get to be all these things. In fact, you need to be. If you want to help the most people, share your gifts to the world and monetize the hell out of them. This is part of it. We don't do boring or basic around here in Project Me. So here are some signs that may indicate that you have a disorganized attachment style when it comes to money. Number 1, impulsive spending. Individuals with a disorganized attachment style may engage in impulsive and unplanned spending. And what I mean by this is it's driven by emotional needs rather than financial considerations. So using money as a way to soothe yourself and seek temporary relief from distressing emotions. So this is not going, okay, I want to grow my business. I need direct help and guidance from someone like Tiffany who's done it and has the receipts. And I want to be around like-minded people doing the same. And this is a tax write-off doing this mastermind with Tiffany. And there's a great ROI here. That kind of a thought process is secure attachment when it comes to investing in money. Impulsive, you're not even thinking about it. You're just doing it. Right? Like you're buying a piece of exercise equipment online at 11 o'clock at night. This is why infomercials that were like really popular back in the day, this is why they go on late at night because they hit the impulsive spending people. I used to do this all the time. It's the fantasy marketing. is the impulsive spending where you're like, oh, I'll buy this course. This person's saying they make $100,000 a month by self-paced course all passively, and I can do it too in 30 days. Yeah, I'm going to buy this. So that's when you fall for stuff like that, or fall for false guarantees like, get a 6-pack in 6 weeks before summer. Drop 6 pounds a week by doing this. The people who are injecting themselves with Ozempic, which if you don't know what Ozempic is, this is what all these celebrities are injecting themselves with. It's a diabetes drug that is now in shortage for people who actually have diabetes. And it obviously does something with your insulin, and it causes, the side effect is there is weight loss. Part of why there's weight loss is it does make you nauseous and have no appetite. But in Mexico, I've been in Mexico twice in the last, I think, 6 weeks, 2 very different parts of Mexico. And you know how if you haven't been, there's pharmacias everywhere. Like it's the land of the pharmacia. And they're now, before it was like pain pills, Viagra, antibiotics, right? That was their like main thing they were pushing. And now it's like Ozempic land everywhere. That's fantasy marketing, looking for a shortcut where you don't have a disease. It's not something that you really need, but it's like going after a shortcut. You are trying to get out of doing the work or looking for the cheap way out. Or that is this impulsive spending from a disorganized attachment, because it temporarily soothes you and gives you the feeling that you're actually doing something when in fact you're doing nothing. Number 2. Financial self-sabotage. People with disorganized attachment style may engage in self-sabotaging behaviors that hinder your stability and success. So this could be neglecting financial responsibilities. This could be falling for fantasy marketing and falling for these false promises that people make. And because that feels easier, that doesn't feel as hard and as scary as working with someone who is going to show you exactly what to do and hold you accountable to following through and doing it. It could be spending money on people who aren't safe, but you think they're safe, and then they end up screwing you over. So you hire a coach who is, now my new one is Sandy, the spiritual scam, where she's like telling you, you go on this retreat for $17,000 and all your childhood wounds disappear. Or they're using this very ethereal marketing and you're like, I'm going to do this and my whole life will change. And it's subconscious because you're not in secure attachment. It's like you hire these people and they end up stealing from you, or they steal from you in time, or steal from you because they don't do a good job for you. And then you hold on and stay with these people thinking something's going to change, and it doesn't. Number 3. Extreme financial dependence or avoidance. So some individuals with a disorganized attachment style may swing between extremes of financial dependence and then to financial avoidance. So they might struggle with finding a healthy balance between being independent and seeking support for others. And then this leads to difficulties in managing money effectively. So it could be like, I want to bring in my own money and I want to have my own business and I want to grow this thing. But then your partner, your husband, your wife ends up like getting a new job, or maybe they're a realtor and they sell a few houses. And it's like, then you kind of you put the brakes or the pause on growing your business further because now their money's coming in. And I see a lot of this financial enmeshment with my clients where it can appear like it's healthy, but it's really not healthy. It could be taking money or banking on an inheritance from a family member that's saying it's coming. So then you kind of put your dreams on hold, or you are toe dipping in your business or in the things you want to do because there's money coming in, or it's like you have a partner that is saying things to you like, well, you don't really have to work. We're okay. Like I'm doing this over here. That's where you can get in trouble. So I see clients that they'll go all in on their business and then they'll put on the brakes. All in, put on the brakes. That's a great example of disorganized. And you can see how that can happen in relationships, right? All in on a relationship, all in on a friendship, or you're dead to me, right? And it's like, it's the anxious attachment avoidant. So this can be where you do, I'm an all or nothing person. I have people that apply to my programs and say that I'm all or nothing. Like I'll be on it and do all these things for 6 weeks, and then I fry and burn myself out, and then I disappear and don't do anything. So now you don't have the consistency that's required in growing your business, and you're not operating in a way that's sustainable. It's like, if I work out, I either work out and I'm amazing for 6 weeks, or I don't do anything. You're in this category of a disorganized attachment person. Number 4, chaotic financial organization. Disorganized attachment can manifest in disorganization and chaos when it comes to financial matters. So maybe you misplace important documents, you forget about a tax bill, and you're like, I don't know how I forgot. I must have misplaced it. How did this happen? You have this thing called learned forgetfulness. You forget about some important things or due dates. You don't keep track of your expenses. You avoid looking at your numbers in your business, your numbers, your sales, how much is coming in, how much you want to make. Or it's not really clear. You have like a vague idea of what's in your bank account, but you don't really know. You don't have a profitable business plan. Your profitable business plan does not exist. It's, I'm just figuring it out. Or you can trick yourself into saying like, I'm intuitively doing these things. Like I just follow my intuition. Listen, can you fucking imagine if you came into an investor meeting with me? I mean, I get invited to these investor meetings all the time. And I love investing in people's businesses, but I'm not going to just give you money just because, just to give you money because I like you. And when someone is like, you ask them certain questions like, what is your plan to scale your business? What is your marketing strategy? How much is it costing you in energy, time, and money to acquire a new client? Like, these are normal types of questions, whether you have a solopreneur business or you have a multi-billion-dollar business. These are real questions. And when someone has a blank look or they go, well, I'm more of an intuitive and I trust my gut, it's like, I appreciate that. And I do think that's very important in business. And that's an important gift to hone in on. But you still need a profitable plan. So avoiding doing that, avoiding working with someone like me or applying to my mastermind, like if you have resistance and you're saying you want these things in your life and you want that next level freedom, cash, you're wanting to be able to take a vacation whenever you want and not have to wait and search for a deal or save up money. You're wanting to have a lake cabin. You're wanting to get a massage every week. You're wanting to get Botox, whatever your thing is, have your kids in the best schools. And you're not putting skin in the game and investing in someone and in a program that is going to show you exactly how to get there and hold your feet to the fire so you show up, you might be in a disorganized attachment because you see how it's confusing. You say you want this, but your actions don't match. And you've got to call yourself out. Remember, I'm disorganized attachment. I have 2 coaches and a therapist and a psychiatrist. There's a lot that goes on here to keep Tiffany Carter and Project Me with Tiffany Carter operating. And I have to have this because when we're standing in the frame, we can't see the full picture, people. We have to have other people that we trust, that are professionals, to be able to see what we're doing. Because a lot of this stuff is so buried subconsciously, or we've been in these behaviors since birth, because this comes from childhood. We don't see that we're doing that. So I was sitting here for a long time saying, I want more visibility for my business. I know the more visibility I have, I know once people know I exist and they come to my podcast, they see my videos, they see my content, they're going to be hooked. They're going to get help. Their lives are going to change. Like, I know that without a doubt. Yet I was resisting being visible on another level because it felt scary to me. So it goes back, see how that ties back to what I said earlier about your caregiver. You want the love, you want the support, you want the acceptance, you want the approval, you want the nurturing from them, but you're also equally afraid of it. So I wanted next level cash, next level abundance, next level visibility, next level, fame, I guess you could call it. I wanted that, yet I was also afraid of it. Disorganized attachment. And you could stay in that for the rest of your life. I could have stayed in that for the rest of my life, but I don't want to stay in that because now I am not paying it forward. I am not helping the people that I'm meant to help. I'm not taking this to where this is meant to go. And guess what happened? Doing this work. Now this show is in the top, not even just 1% of all podcasts worldwide, top 0.5% of all podcasts worldwide. And it's probably at even a lower number today, but on the charts, on the podcast charts, it's number 48 out of worldwide of all entrepreneur and success shows. Number 48 and climbing the ladder. And that would not be possible if I've not done this work. Also, what happened as a result of doing this work and moving towards secure attachment, working with professionals, doing this work on myself, and not just thinking about it, not just reading about it, but putting actual money and skin in the game to make sure that I show up. I went from 750 followers on TikTok, and now I'm at 58,000 and rapidly growing in 6 weeks, by the way. Well, no, I went from 750 to 50,000 in 6 weeks, and now we're at 8 weeks, so now we're almost at 60,000. Visibility, the thing I was afraid of, but I couldn't have gotten there if I didn't move towards secure attachment on it. Number 5, money as a source of anxiety or shame. People with a disorganized attachment style may experience heightened anxiety, guilt, or shame surrounding money. You may feel a deep-seated fear of financial instability or unworthiness, which can negatively impact your financial decision-making and well-being. Because when we attach shame and anxiety and stress to money, do you think that magnetizes more money to us? No, it repels it. Because if money, whether having a lot of it, having too little of it, we attach some sort of negative energy to it, we're subconsciously saying, I don't want more of it. It's uncomfortable to me. I just had a client say to me, because their mom always says to them, must be nice, must be nice, must be nice. Anytime she has like some big success or is doing something cool, like taking like a $20,000 first class vacation to Europe and things like that. And the must be nice is like, that comes from childhood. It's like, oh God, I'm being selfish. I'm being greedy. There's people suffering. Who am I to be this extravagant when there's people that are struggling over here? And if we don't work on that and we stay in that spot, that disorganized spot, why would you attract more money-making opportunities, abundance coming your way? Because you're signaling out energetically to the universe, it's not safe for me to bring in next level cash. Number 6, impaired long-term financial planning. Individuals with a disorganized attachment style, you may struggle with creating and sticking to long-term financial plans. So it may be hard to envision future goals, and you may be prone to making impulsive decisions that undermine your financial stability. And I don't mean impulsive necessarily purchases, but decisions. I'm not feeling motivated, so I'm not going to show up this week. Oh, I'm not going to launch this again. It didn't do well the first time. Oh, I'm never going to hire a coach again. I'm never going to do a mastermind again. Oh, I've spent way too much money on programs. I'm not going to buy any more programs, or I'm not going to hire another VA because I've gone through 3 VAs and it didn't work out. The most expensive mistake you can do is to stop investing in yourself and your business because of past circumstances. Those are in the past. There's no way to avoid it. Just like in dating, they say you got to kiss the frogs, right, to get to the prince, so to speak. Like, this is the law of polarity. Not everything you touch is going to turn to gold. I make investments every year in my business and experiment with things that don't pay off, that in fact make me lose money. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to sit here and then go into avoidance and not spend more and and pour more in, because if I don't, then I'm for certain not going to have the success I want. If we use a dating analogy, I'm not dating ever again. Like, you might say that in a moment, but if you stay in that, what are you losing then? Now you're losing the companionship, the passion, the love, the support that you are yearning for. And that's what happens when we're not in secure attachment. So what is it costing you? Be honest with yourself right now. What is it costing you to not significantly invest your money, time, and energy in your business right now? And I don't care what you have in the bank. I had to use credit cards to start my first business because I couldn't get a business loan. This was not sexy to be an entrepreneur 15 years ago. And especially as a woman, they were like, I wasn't going to get any money. So I love credit cards. Now you have PayPal credit. You have all sorts of great loans you can do. You can borrow money from a rich uncle for all I care. Get really creative in doing it. But what is it going to cost you to not do it? What is it going to cost you to continue to stay in the same spot that you're in right now over the next 4 months, 6 months, 1 year? What's that going to be? And if you don't like what that cost is, then you've got to take contrary action towards it. And some of you might be going at this point, oh, well, she's just saying this because it's self-serving, because she's just launched a mastermind, or, you want people to invest in working with you. I don't need your money. I make plenty of money. I have 17 different forms of passive income streams, which is why that's an integral part that I teach inside my mastermind, and how to set yourself up for that. So you're not always trading your time for money, because you can only grow so far trading your time for money, because you have a limit and a cap on your time and energy. So we've got to create limitless income streams that aren't tied to your energy and tied to your time and tied to your mood. And you can think that because your brain is in some kind of resistance. But I'm telling you the things that I wish someone told me, to where my net worth would easily be, my net worth right now is 2, 4, 6. We're like 6 to 7 million. My net worth would easily be $10 million more, like $17 million, if I had been told some of this stuff even 6 years ago. If I didn't have this disorganized attachment style, if I even knew what it was and I was working towards secure. Millions of dollars have been left on the table and have been wasted as a result of me operating out of this disorganized attachment style, which is why this series is so important. So I want you to take a screenshot, share this episode in your Instagram, Facebook stories, share this episode with a friend, with a partner, with a family member, with someone who you're like, wow, this is going to really help this person see their relationship with money differently in a non-shaming way. Trust whoever comes to your mind is supposed to hear this episode. And go check out the Abundance League, projectmewithtiffany.com/Abundance League. There are also other ways to work with me that are inside the show notes as well. And you know what? Leave me a damn 5-star review if this did something for you. So write a review in Apple Podcasts. That's the only place you can write reviews right now. Put your Instagram handle in the review. If you take a screenshot and DM it to me, I'll treat you to a luxuriating morning beverage of your choice. And if you just want to do it to say thank you so much, and in appreciation and in abundance for all the information you're sharing, Tiffany, if you had an aha moment, that would mean a lot to me. And if you are lazy and you just tap the 5 stars on Apple or on Spotify, which takes literally a half a second, I appreciate that as well. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.